Sheens, PNW Erica here. Erica Stout, licensed realtor in the state of Washington with RE/MAX Equity Group, specializing in Southwest Washington, primarily Clark County. Today we're going to be talking about my predictions for trending exterior paint colors here in the Pacific Northwest. These are going to be some really great colors, but I have to stress that they're suitable for the Pacific Northwest geographic region because of climate, vegetation, weather, etc. So the colors that we're going to be talking about aren't going to necessarily be suitable for like a Palm Springs ranch. After I talk about the colors and show you some examples, we're also going to discuss 5 things to consider when selecting exterior paint for your home. First, you might be asking, well, Erica, what makes you a design authority on exterior paint colors? That's a great question. So first and foremost, I have a design background. So before becoming a realtor, I worked in the apparel industry. So I've been studying design for a very long time. 2, I'm a realtor and I see houses every single day. I look at a lot of houses. I look at a lot of houses in person. I look at a lot of houses online. I look at blogs and trade magazines. So my eyes are always on houses. So with that being with the part of like the color cycles and the color trend cycles, I can start to see when a trend has been played out a bit. Warmer colors are absolutely cycling back around, as well as natural textures. All the colors I've selected would work great with the variety of natural textures that you might find on the outside of your home, such as exposed wood siding, brick, stonework, etc. Upon selection of these colors, or how I curated these colors, is I was looking at a lot of different things. So one of the things I was looking at is just what's kind of going on in the world, like where we're at, right? So we're coming off of COVID, which is magical and wonderful. Climate is a concern for a lot of people. Environment, people are starting to appreciate nature more. People are moving out of larger cities and into more rural dwellings. People want to have more land on their property. They want to be able to raise chickens, have gardens, etc. So there's absolutely this desire to connect further with nature. The colors that I chose are all warm, inviting hues, and they are colors that we can find in nature. I'm not one to do a long and drawn out build up, so let's just jump into what these colors are. We have 5 gorgeous colors here, again, all taken from nature. So what have we got? We have got this dark chocolate brown. We have a dark blueberry, dark olive green, paprika, and mustard. I thought it would be helpful to show these colors in some context, so I have recolored some house illustrations in these colors. Let's have a look at that. So here are the illustrations of the houses. I have one in each exterior color, and then I have various trim colors, which I'll explain. And I've also specifically chosen different styles of house as well, because I know that here in the Pacific Northwest, we have a lot of different housing styles, but there are also some that we don't have here. And I wanted to make sure that the houses that I selected, I've seen in the wild. First up is this little mustard cutie. Mustard here is shown on a 1950s up to a late 1970s, a one-level ranch style house here. We have a kind of a low-slung home here in mustard, and we've got chocolate brown for the trim and also the little fencing and porch supports, and we've got the door in paprika. Next is this colonial-inspired home shown in our dark olive color. What's nice to point out on this home also is that it has some exposed brick. We can see the exposed brick near the foundation and also at the chimney here. So you can see that this dark olive color works wonderful with this Inca Red Brick color. For the doors, we have the chocolate brown. Paprika is being worn by this new traditional cutie, and their porch supports, railing, and trim are in the dark chocolate brown. Mustard yellow on the door. So this one is pretty much the same colorway as this cutie little mustard ranch. They both have the dark chocolate brown trim, but the body and the door colors are flipped. Another thing that I want to mention is that this home and the new traditional have a smaller front-facing elevation than the other three home sketches. And I picked the brightest colors for the smallest homes. And that's because when bold colors, a little bit certainly packs a huge punch. And these smaller homes definitely are well suited for these bright and fun colors. This Cape Cod influenced home is in the dark blueberry color, and I think this rendering came out fantastic. So this dark blue color is a great alternative to the very trendy black color to paint your house that we've been seeing a lot of lately. I don't necessarily think that black houses are over or done, but they've definitely been getting a lot of press and a lot of notoriety, and with that comes the what's next, what's next, what's next. So what I think is next is colors that are very close to being black, but not black, and this dark blueberry is awesome. The trim on this home is a slightly lighter color, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And the door is that dark olive green. You'll notice that I do not have any white trim depicted on any of these sketches. And that's because I strongly believe that white trim is definitely not trending. Tonal trim or matching trim in garage doors looks very fresh, very modern. Last home style illustrated and colored is the Northwest Contemporary in the dark chocolate brown. We also have paprika here used on the mid-century inspired doors. Also on this home is gray stone on the chimney and also exposed wood here, probably like some cedar siding in combination. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I'm huge on natural textures and natural tones, so I just wanted to make sure that I illustrated some of those here. So we've got this guy, and then if we travel up to this one here, we've got the Inca Red Brick. All right, so notice I did not show any of these painting over the brick. I left them as is. Here is the little collection of cuties again in the colors. Do you have a favorite? Like, I'm super curious to know if one of these is overwhelmingly more popular than the other. My personal favorites are probably the dark blueberry. It just looks fantastic. And also the paprika house. I think that looks spot on too. Please say something in the comments below. For this next part of the video, we are going to discuss 5 things to consider when selecting exterior paint for your home. Number 1 is when you are at the paint store, pull any and all swatches that are close to the color. That is because the lighting at the store is often not daylight balanced. So we're talking about exterior paint colors. So a exterior color temperature, daylight is 5000 K, and a lot of times the bulbs that are at the store are fluorescent or incandescent or. So you might be looking at the color in the display, but then when you take it home and get it outside in natural daylight, the color could appear to shift on you. So pull anything that is close to the color and take it home. Consider the direction and the angle of your siding, all right? So Here is this dark chocolate brown, which is sweet molasses from Bear at Home Depot. So here it is straight up and down, right? But let's say you have lap siding that has a slight angle to it. So when I do this with the swatch, do you see that? Do you see that the change in angle appears to change the color? Number 2, consider the color of things that are not so easy to change already on your home, such as roof color, window frame color. Some colors might pair better with your existing roof color and window frame color than others. For example, on the Adorable Mustard Ranch, I have a reddish brown color roof on that home. I also have a reddish door with a paprika and the warm brown trim. So a charcoal gray roof might not look as good as the warm brown roof. So for example, if you have a charcoal roof, you might either want to select different trim color, different door color, etc. So you just want to consider the roof color that you have on your home and the window frame color, because those aren't as easy or cheap to change. Number 3, not all paint manufacturers' sheens or finishes are the same. So, for example, Bear's exterior satin might be either slightly shinier or slightly duller than Miller brand paint's satin. So don't think that just because it says satin that it's gonna be the exact same sheen as another manufacturer. Also, every paint company will match colors from a different paint company. So let's say, for example, you like a color formulation of a Bear swatch, but you like the satin finish of the Miller paint swatch. You can take the Bear paint chip from Home Depot over to Miller and they can make the exact same formula for you. Number 4, exterior paint is formulated with a high percentage of acrylic. Acrylic paints dry really fast, so you might need to water it down several times through the process. The other bad thing about paint drying fast is that if you're applying it, like if you're doing it yourself and you're applying it to your siding with a roller, for example, the start of where you applied it to the end of the roller streak, that already might be partially dry. I highly recommend a professional to do your exterior painting. A lot of times they are going to spray it on, which is going to give that nice, beautiful, even coverage, and they can travel a lot quicker and a lot more efficient and effectively than you could with the roller. They're also going to dilute it down to the right viscosity for the exterior application of your home. My favorite exterior paint finish is either a satin that is a low gloss satin. What does that mean? Well, you just have to compare different manufacturers to see which one has the lowest sheen, or like a velvet or even a matte. I do not recommend high gloss, semi-gloss on exterior surfaces for your home. It's just going to make your house look shiny and reflective. Final tip number 5 is the color too bold? Why not try a tint, shade, or hue? To understand tints, tones, and shades, we can look at a basic color wheel. On the color wheel here, we have at the top the pure color. Then the next we have a tint of the color, which is the color itself mixed with white. A tone of the color is the color itself mixed with gray. And a shade is the color itself mixed with black. So, for example, let's say you really love this paprika color, but you're like, that's a little bit too bold and bright for my taste. So you can do a shade of this where you add black to it. You could do a tone, which is adding gray, or a tint, which would be adding white to this color. So, for example, if we look at these 2 homes here, the top one is the dark olive green color, and we can see that the trim here is darker, so that is a shade of the dark olive green. It is having black added to it. On the blueberry house down below, the trim is a little bit lighter, so this is a tint of the dark blueberry color. So you can use tints, tones, and shades for the main body color of your house, or you can use them to make tonal versions for trim. So that's actually the end of this video. I hope you learned something about selecting exterior paint for your home in general, and I hope you appreciated our trending color swatches. Here they are. And once again, thank you for watching and cheers. Take care.